says 0, but this is pole 26?
This loading section 0. In other words, it's beginning or ending point of the antenna. The pole number is missing.
So in the background, we can see from here all the way down. We got the shack in the background, way up there. So what's the demo we're going to be doing here?
The telluric reception.
Okay, and so what's
We're going to use the AM radio in my car.
Okay.
Here, I want you to do something. Go and point the... Come over here. Oh yeah, I guess you could do it there. Okay. Now listen what happens to AM radio when I touch this.
Go ahead.
Okay, hold on.
The New York Times has a report on John Bolton that deserves some attention. The New York Times is now
aerial going up towards the shack.
That the raid on John Bolton may have been
and that's the ground,
and not in fact,
which is a big network in here. It's got very, very low inductance and resistance in the ground. Show that in a bit. So, what I want to demonstrate is that when I connect the terminal ground
and the pickup momentum during the operations, collected information that appears to show that it handled classified information, according to people familiar with.
So that's ground we're receiving through from the body of the car to this, which goes to the can. Right now, both the antenna and the earth connection are running to the car radio. So I can't connect it directly because what the car radio has inside of it, at least the old ones, the new ones, they're probably not doing this anymore.
That is
but the wavelength here is 300 meters. This antenna is not even 1 meter. So this antenna does not receive electromagnetically, regardless of what Einstein tells you. It does not receive electrostatically. The Tesla transformer basically is an inductance that operates in conjunction with its own self-capacitance to create a very high impedance. And basically this is, if you were to view this as the Wardenclyffe Tower or Colorado Springs, this would be like a Colorado Springs, this would be the aerial condenser. Same thing at Wardenclyffe. So because it's such a high impedance, the antenna lead, this is the pair that goes to the terminal shack. I mean the terminal it's the terminal cabinet. The terminal can goes here on a cross arm, so we don't have to do this kind of stuff. And so these two wires here are corresponding to those two wires up there. And that's 4,800 feet thus far unloaded line that terminates where Justin and Connor are working right now in the what we call the repeater cabinet. It's an N-carrier Bell telephone repeater cabinet that's very well suited for this type of stuff. It sure be nice to have more of them. So that pair of wires comes out in that repeater cabinet, and as we speak they are connecting that, or they may have already. We'll be out there in a bit. So basically from the repeater cabinet to here, 4,800 feet, and whatever cross arms of wire, this is the antenna. Even though it does have the ability to make a 2-wire connection with the cable TV shack, that's just something that's patched in because the cable TV shack is fed by the repeater cabinet. And then what's picked up on here is translated in the repeater cabinet. It's something that you can transmit over a pair of wires, and then that goes to the cable TV shack. So basically the cable TV shack is bridging this antenna or transmission line. It'll be used as both simultaneously. That is basically pretty much floating right now, and they're listening to it up in the shack. Right now it's on. But the antenna also can work in the other direction. We can do the same thing here. And also we can do a band splitting. So right now they're receiving the ultra low frequency band up there on the same antenna that we're presently receiving in the medium frequency band. So the objective here is this will become a very busy area. There's going to be, like at the mine, there's going to be a cross-arm arrangement that's going to carry a number of cabinets that have the amplifiers and modulators and all the necessary stuff in it to receive medium frequency and to still receive the ultra-low frequency bands and any other band that this antenna might be tuned to. So the way this is going to work out is the pole pair, which is up now, will be interchangeable between this end and that end, or both simultaneously, or what have you. But as the antenna evolves and the outer pairs, or we call the carrier pairs, go up, then that all electronics is all here. And then there'll be 2 high-frequency transmission lines. You can see them going up on the ridge there. We just, Connor and I put that in last month, and we have to string the wire on it. And then this will carry the signal frequencies and the power from the receiving station at the mine to this pole. There'll be one other antenna that goes up here, is over where your truck is parked. There's going to be a loop antenna that's going to be orientated into the Earth's magnetic field, and that's going to be one of the receiving channels here. And of course it'll all be patchable. So basically when this whole thing is done, you can put a regular telephone, patch it into the patch panel in the cable TV shack, and patch it into the local telephone system at our terminal pole out there, and make a telephone call through the whole circuit, or you can patch it into the antenna. All this stuff is going to be patchable. So that's kind of the whole plan here. So this is going to be, right here is going to be a very busy area. This is going to be kind of about on the same level as the cable TV shack, except it has to be crammed in smaller cabinets. And it has to receive power from the mine, which is no problem because we can phantom another pair on the 2 existing power audio or radio frequency lines and get the power to come out here, just like the cable TV shack is repowering the repeater cabinet by phantoming it through an existing pair. So anytime you have 2 pairs, then the pairs themselves can constitute the A and B conductors of a 3rd pair. So that's and these, because these are high frequency transmission lines, they're going to be heavily transposed. So right, left, right, left, right, left. Every circuit is transposed where the conductors are crossed over each other, so the line is constantly twisting, and that cuts down the crosstalk, because with 2 open wire transmission systems that close, there's going to be enough crosstalk that you have to transpose. So that's quite a weaving operation with all your wire. That's going to be a new deal. So basically, once we get this pair up and terminated on a pole down there on the other side and get past the corner pole, then every pole in our lineup here from 0 to 54 will be occupied. And that's kind of a requirement, because if you just leave empty poles, people will vandalize them or steal the insulators. So at that point, the outside plant comes to a stop because there's building the outside plant to the mine is just not happening right now, and the manpower and the money and all that. The first thing to do is to complete the cable TV shack, and then get this started here where equipment can occupy this pole rather than me have to drive up with a car. So I think that's the totality of the overall plan, this pole. So this pole basically is like a junction point in the system. One side antenna, the other side transmission, and that dead end guy that's going to the stub guy pole there, that's basically takes up the whole load of the entire span all the way to the ridge where it goes down into the ravine where Justin and Connor are working. And then of course, when you, because you have to patch things together a little bit at a time, then this straight section of line from the ridge will end actually on another corner pole, just like the ridge just passed here. Maybe we can get a picture of that later. And then basically, then that's one straight section from, I forget the number of that pole. I think it's pole 30 to pole 45. That whole, all the stress on the lines from the wind and everything else will be held end to end by those two guys to stop stuff from shifting in between. But right now this guy is serving as our dead end, and it will not be taken down because this is kind of major structural element in here, so it's going to be guided in both directions. That's why Connor and I put in the stub over here. We found that railroad ties are the ideal anchor. We don't have to chop up useful utility poles. So you can't just put regular wood in the ground or it'll rot if you expect anything to last a good percentage of your lifetime. And this is all basically designed to last like 30 years, including the lease and everything else. It's a 30-year with minimal maintenance. Even though some of these poles are almost 100 years old, they're still quite solid. You just don't want to climb them with climbing spikes anymore. You might want to do it from the other direction so you can hear the radio. Right now there's a station tuned in from Oregon or Idaho. I haven't identified it yet. And this is about the best it comes in here. Even though this is a very sensitive AM radio system. As I bring this near it.
Take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 to buy by September 30th.
Now it's full volume.
To 989898. Again,
no
text
antenna.
Rock to 989898.
Coming in through the ground.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell &
Now,
Cordell.
if I want to really
This is complicated,
beef the
especially
signal
when
up,
your small business or professional
I'm gonna connect
practice is
an
involved.
antenna.
At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise
And now it's
unique
overloading the
valuation
radio.
and allocation
And this is
issues.
our
For 35
series
years, we've
capacitor,
helped doctors, lawyers, and small business
so
owners
that the
navigate
AM radio Tesla coil has the capacitance to work against to couple the outside signal in. Because if you just connect the clip straightly, you're just going to short out the Tesla coil. So let's see what we can pick up. Down here is the, once you get away from the power line interference, this is the earth signal band. It's, one of the earth signal bands is around 500 kilocycles. This radio goes down to 514, I believe. It's modified a bit, but there's too much power line stuff around. Okay, I'm going to go up the band. There's more power line garbage. Gangrene Energy. Here comes the first station. There's two of them in there. On the weekend. Probably got to wait forever if you get any identification of the stations.
By diversifying metals. Former chief economist Kenneth Rogoff to give away his latest book called Our Dollar.
That may be Idaho. We're in the 1,000-mile range right now.
Special gold IRA investing kit. Consult your tax and financial professional before investing. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Portions of the following are pre-recorded.
AM 580, The Answer. Breaking news and talk from the voices you can trust. The Morning Answer with Jen and Grant.
That's Los Angeles.
Jennifer Horn. Oh, come. Let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before.
There's a strange one. That's Greek. It's not coming from there.
11 of the 12 players who were on the team when they won the Cup 2 years ago in Italy. The only change makes sense because crime has to.
God, that's even weirder, isn't it?
The Taliban, they continue to face intense sanctions stated when they acquire.
I just give you a heads.
Work.
An Army football player.
At any rate, every channel is occupied on this AM radio. Okay, now let's disconnect all this and see what the AM radio picks up.
He mentioned his military training kicked in, and
Comes in.
on the road until the police officer.
Would you just disconnect?
I disconnected everything from the car.
Okay.
Still doing pretty good. This particular way of doing the AM antenna makes it much better than the Toyota had it. Well, that's interesting. I've never heard the harp down here. Maybe it's somebody's digital device. Probably your camera.
Willie Adamas has been great.
Identity protection?
So it's about a 10-to-1 boost. And 90% of that comes from the ground connection. So in my mind, that pretty much validates the Earth transmission.
Okay, so this is the this is a
interference thing.
what is this, a 2007 Tundra, and it's picking up a bunch of if I go down to 530, we're getting this power line hum. And if it gets connected to the body,
Nothing. Not even a scratch. Well, I know what's going on here. So here's what they're doing. This is why it doesn't work. See, they don't want the Tesla coil. They don't want anything anymore. All they want is microchips from China. And that's how this thing works. It's not a real radio. So what they're doing is they're building some kind of like potential sensing transistorized input where it measures voltage, and then they just insanely amplify it. So basically what's that's done is it's made it very effective to pick up power line noise, which this whole antenna is not doing at all, and it has no contact to the earth.
wait, there's a little bit of scratch here. I increased the frequency.
Okay. Yeah,
Hear
but
that?
I mean the speaker should be blasting.
Well, you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, but are you putting the antenna or the ground on there? If you're putting
I don't
the
know which one.
well, yeah, that's the difference. You put the antenna on there, you're making sparks. Because that thing's always hot to some level. That's the ground. But the remarkable thing is you're not able to pick up one single AM radio station.
Yeah, no, not a single one.
Yeah, but nevertheless, in my car, without any help, is picking up 10.
Yeah. So already went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I hit scan, it won't
Roll
find
that
a,
back up.
it won't lock on to a single one.
Yeah. You know, when you picked
That's
up
the correct way.
3,000 feet of this off the desert floor by yourself, by hand,
You
with
know
a
how
nice
to-
big 70-pound roll, spring wire, they learn how to do it. Plus, my punishment at youth was I was the guy in the neighborhood that got to untangle everybody's street lights because I was the electrician. Yeah, why don't you do it? Take it over the red and the green wires is kind of make them in fairly good contact with the antenna, not electrically but capacitively. This is the whip. Wrap it around the whip.
The red and the green?
Yeah, just wrap them around there. Deflect the ground, the yellow and the black away. Don't leave that hanging in that area. No, wrap them around.
Oh, just fully,
Yeah,
not just the
make
exposed
like a
part.
little coil, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what it does.
Okay, stop scanning. Let's see.
Just two manually.
Oh, got something.
Yeah.
That's the most so far. So that was 980.
See, what's interesting is it picks up the power line noise, but does not pick up the station. To me, that's an indication that it's useless. Jeremy came up with the right phrase for it for the first time I'm hearing it. Something complexity. Flagrant.
You hear something on 550.
Take that away. Take that station. Take
Nothing. Wait, put it back. I want to see what other state. There's 550 and 980.
Well, you know what? You need let me let you use my coupler. Hold on. Let's see this where you can really get some coupler. There's a good way to take over my Now wrap that in
was on there. 980 I did have.
Me the wires. If I let go, it'll come undone.
Which wire is ground?
Yellow.
Here, verify with Derek.
This is the way it was earlier. I remember.
No, but you want the red and the green touching? Red and green touching?
Can they touch each other?
Put the clip on the red and green.
Yeah. But the red and the green can touch each other. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hola, hola.
Do I choose the sleep number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site?
Another one. And red and green is the earth?
No, it's
Oh, it's the overhead line.
you can't even tune it anymore. So
Well, there's your case for making sure you got an analog AM radio on hand when you're traveling. Yeah, that didn't pick up anything by itself.
no.
Not one. Not
Well,
one.
but the thing is, I mean, it was remarkably effective at picking up the power lines.
Yeah. Is that right there?
Yeah.
That's going across, right?
Now, you mean to tell me that we got all this wire up in the air, you know, and this thing is receiving the power line noise better than all this?
Yeah.
something's goofy here.
Right.
Well, it's this modern electronic interpretation. There is no more electrical radio. Everything has to be done electronically, including your morning dump. Wait. It's your methane tax. Dump density indicator. It's all coming. Showing in your neighborhood soon. And when you buy something, it's got a money-back guarantee. You know what that is? Is that it doesn't work.
Okay, what are you going to go over?
Okay, so basically this is the earth connection box here. So,
Okay.
and then there are 4 leads that come out of the terminal, you know, the thing to plug in, which eventually is going to be, you know, something rather than clip leads and all that. There'll be an actual connector here. And there'll be 3 cabinets here for the 3 bands that will be receiving in, or possibly 2 bands, and the power control unit and what have you. Kind of like what we have up in the mine. So at any rate, there's 4 wires on the end. There's the red and green. That's called the red is the ring and green is the tip of the telephone plug, and that's the right and left hand conductors on the transmission pair. And then the other one is yellow and black. The yellow lead is the signal ground, and the black lead is the safety ground, or what I call the static ground. It's basically mainly to deal with the lightning static and things that the wires pick up that you got to drain off. So the ground system has two separate. It has the so-called static ground, and it has the signal ground. So this is the static ground. And what this is 2-gauge aluminum, and there's a trench that goes from that bush where you can see the rocks piled up. The ground rod in there.
Under the shotgun shell?
Yeah, the shotgun shells. They're plentiful when people shoot our poles. Oh yeah, let's bring that up. The wonders of operating on public land. So we come out here and find this mess. That's another ground rod. And shotgun shells everywhere. But the shotgun shells fit perfectly on the ground rods and make good markers. So
Yeah.
we should get something out of it. So the bare aluminum is laid in this trench, which goes to that kind of bigger bush. You can see the rows of rocks. So those are all ground rods. But the aluminum cable does not connect to the ground rods. It lays in a separate spot in the trench, and it's kept insulated from any other metallic entrances to that part of it. So that's the one that connects to the black lead. The yellow lead connects the insulated conductor to the ground rods. So the trench is pretty deep. It's about 24 inches. We made sure that the static ground was always kept very well insulated from the signal ground. So, and then when the ohm meter was put between the two, it was only 1 ohm, and there was no metallic contact. So it appears to me that there's actually an underground stream flowing through here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how can it be that low with being so dry out here?
Well, it's not dry. Not when, you know,
and you said 24 inches
deeper.
deep? Yeah.
So this, you know, this can be a devastating flash flood area right here when the rain really gets going. And so basically, if there was an extra $10,000 on top of whatever other $500,000, we want to put a well in here, because this is the terminal point, and then have that as the electrical connection to the earth rather than just ground rods. But this And every loading section, which is like 3 poles down where the line is interrupted, there has to be some kind of borehole put in the ground to put, like, you know, the car radio antenna down in the ground rather than up in the air. But that's all very costly. But anyway, at least the backbone for it's all here. And this would be, it'd be interesting to actually have water here and put in, you know, a trough for the wildlife. You don't want to put in any shade though, because that attracts the 2-legged flies. I don't know if you want to edit that one out or not. But from the hole in the pole, you can see, you know, when you attract the 2-legged flies, what they do for fun. Just disintegrate things with their guns. And then the illegal dumping. You should have seen the mess here. We're not done with it yet. But now we have to pay to clean up the illegal dumping because people are illegal dumping because the dump costs money. Yeah, the loop antenna is going to go over here. So there'll be a pair of 25-foot poles, 3.5 feet into the ground. And they'll be separated by whatever height they are above the ground. And then one pole will be square out, end up here. And there's room for the sky wire. So that's a consideration. You don't want anyone hitting your guy wires. So pole will be about here somewhere, and then the Earth's magnetic field is going to be offset. I'll be off that way, so then the other pole, however many feet, 22 or 23 or something like that, what works out to, will be over here, and of course it'll be guide, and then a section of direct burial 25 pair telephone cable will make a big square, which will be about 20 feet in the air. And it'll come down and there'll be a trench where it'll be about 12 inches, 18 inches in the ground. Then it'll come up another pole. And then at the point, midpoint between the 2 poles, the underground cable will come up and connect to a terminal box. And that will be the output of the loop antenna. And what's going to happen is any power line hum it picks up, because it's doing it magnetically, is going to be introduced out of phase into the electrostatic receiving with phantoming onto that transmission pair. And then we can really cancel a lot of the power line hum out and get the sensitivity way up. And at that point, then the first step of this whole Earth signal antenna thing is done. Other than what, you know, I showed the other day what has to be done in the repeater cabinet and the shack, but this is the final stage. The loop antenna is the final stage. So we have to find a pair of 25-foot poles, class 7 or class 8, so we can handle them. And that we don't have that now. So this is way in the future. But it is going to be interesting to listen to the Earth's magnetic field as it passes through that loop. And we're going to be doing it in ways that are not customary, just like everything else around here. There's nothing very customary here, except the original construction practices, which are not customary anywhere on the planet. So obviously the main impediment to the whole operation is going to be having this power line right next to us here. But considering that you know, that part of the purpose of the loop is to build up you know, a counter magnemotive interference thing and inject it in so that it cancels out, And then when you're operating above 10 kilocycles or below 50 cycles, there's no more power line. Most of that stuff's gone. Particularly when you get below like 100 cycles, it starts to drop off pretty fast. It's worst around 180 and 540. That's where its intensity is. It's not 60 cycles a second. It's a complex wave of multiples of 3 of odd harmonics. So third and ninth harmonic, and it keeps going up the scale, and it gets worse every year. So made it so we couldn't receive voice frequency signals out of the ground because it's so damn loud. You don't even. They have so much stray electricity flowing in the ground that you don't even need the amplifier to hear the interference. You can just plug it right into a telephone handset or a small speaker, and you can hear it buzz. That's how bad it is.
We'll turn on my radio.
Well, that's not out of the ground.
Oh.
But yeah. So that's the whole thing. That's the nemesis of any of this type of work, is this Y-connected power system that's being forced on the entire country, because it just turns the electrical grid into a giant transmitting antenna. And then by the law of reciprocity, it turns it into a giant receiving antenna. So if the sun really blows a big one, you can rest assured that you're going to be connected right to it. It's a nice solid piece of wire.